Welcome back, and let's continue with our application questions. So the first question that we have there is a negative 10 multiplied by, open bracket, 5 multiplied by a negative 3, close bracket. So we are going to do this step by step. We are going to start with leaving the negative 10 as is and focusing on what's in the brackets. So in the brackets, I have a positive 5 multiplied by a negative 3. Remember, a positive multiplied by a negative will give us a negative answer. And then we have 5 multiplied by 3, which is 15. Then now we have a negative 10 multiplied by a negative 15. A negative number multiplied by a negative number will give us a positive answer. Then we have 10 multiplied by 15. Remember, these are 10 groups of 15. That will give us an answer of, yes, you have it. It is 150. So our answer is a positive 150. The next one that we are going to look at is a negative 3 multiplied by 20. So we are multiplying a negative number with a positive number. Again, our answer is going to be a negative. Then we are just going to say 3 multiplied by 20. Then that answer is going to be a 60. Okay, let's move on to our next question. We have there as number 3 a negative 60 divided by a negative 3. Do you know how to solve that? Let us first look at the numbers that we are dividing. We are dividing a negative number with a negative number. So what is a negative divided by a negative? Do you remember? Yes, it is a positive answer. And then we are just going to say 60 divided by 3. And our answer there is going to be a 20. I hope you are getting these answers as well. Let's move on to number 4. So with number 4, I have a cube root of 27 multiplied by a cube root of a negative 64. So this is a cube root of a positive number and a cube root of a negative number. Remember, we said that the cube root of a positive number will give us a positive number, and a cube root of a negative number will give us a negative number. So what is the cube root of 27? The cube root of 27, yes, you are correct, is a positive 3. We are multiplying that with the cube root of a negative 64. Do you remember what the cube root of negative 64 is? Yes, you are correct. That will be a negative 4. So a cube root of a negative number does give us a negative number. So now we are multiplying a positive 3 with a negative 4. A positive multiplied by a negative number will give us a negative answer, and then 3 times 4 is equals to 12. So our answer there is a negative 12. Let's move on to the next one. We have there a negative 5 squared divided by the square root of 5 squared. Do you remember that when we are working with integers, we have to put them in brackets? So the fact that there are brackets there means that we are squaring the whole negative 5. So this means that it will be negative 5 multiplied by a negative 5. So what is a negative 5 multiplied by a negative 5? Yes, it is a positive 25. And we are going to divide that by the square root of 5 squared. Do we know what the square root of 5 squared is? If you think about it, 5 squared is 25. Do you remember that? So what is the square root of 25? Yes, you are correct. It is 5. So now I am dividing a positive number with a positive number. So what is 25 divided by 5? Our answer is going to be positive because they are both positive. And then 25 divided by 5 is going to give us an answer of 5. Let's move on to the next one. Now I have negative 4 squared multiplied by a negative 1 squared. Look at these two integers. So the first one, the negative, is outside of the brackets. This means that it will not be squared. But with the second integer there, our negative is inside the bracket. This means that it will be squared. So this is a negative 4 squared multiplied by a negative 1 squared. So this negative is not going to be squared. So what is 4 squared? This gives us 16 multiplied by, what is negative 1 squared? Negative 1 squared means negative 1 multiplied by a negative 1. So that is going to give us a positive 1. Now, we are multiplying a negative number with a positive number. And remember, any number that is multiplied by 1 remains itself. So our answer is going to be a negative, and then that 16 remains as is. So our answer is going to be a negative 16. Great. Let us look at more calculations. So number 7 says there 2 multiplied by 4 squared divided by 2 multiplied by 4 in brackets. So we are going to start with the powers and with what is in the brackets. So 2 multiplied by, what is 4 squared? So this is a positive 4. 4 times 4 is 16. We are going to divide that by, in the brackets we have 2 times 4. That is going to give us 8. So now, what is 2 multiplied by 16? It's a positive 2 multiplied by a positive 16. That is going to give us a positive 32. When we divide that by 8, or a positive 8, that is going to give us a positive 4. Okay, do you have that? I hope you do. Let's look at the last one. So the last one there is the negative square root of 36. A negative square root will give us a negative answer. We are dividing that by the cube root of negative 8. Again, remember, the cube root of a negative number will give us a negative answer. So the negative square root of 36 is going to be negative 6. And we are going to divide that by the cube root of negative 8. What is the cube root of negative 8? Yes, it is going to be a negative 2. Now, we are dividing a negative number with a negative number. So negative with a negative will give us a positive answer. And what is 6 divided by 2? Yes, you have it. It is equals to 3. So our answer there is a positive 3. Let's quickly go to an ad break and then we'll see you just now.